It's the beginning of the new year, and Crucible Arms wants you to show us your cans. Hey, thanks for joining us. Go to www.facebook.com/Crucible Arms and send us pictures of your cans. I'd love to see your setup. This particular setup you've seen before. It's an AAC 300 Blackout upper, and I've got it attached to a Palmetto State Armory lower that I built up. The difference is we now in the state of Minnesota have just legalized suppressors. They've been legal in a number of states for a number of years, but it's a pretty big deal around these parts. So I am one of the first people, not the first, I want to be really clear about that, but I am one of the first people to actually have a legally owned suppressor attached to a rifle here in Minnesota. Some of you have probably already seen our video that we did on the 300 Blackout build. If not, I'll annotate it, you can have a look at it. But what we want to talk about specifically this time is the suppressed 300 Blackout. The 300 Blackout round was developed by AAC specifically to be suppressed. So what we've got is the AAC upper, and then we've also got the AAC 762 SDN6 can. And again, this was specifically designed to work with the 300 Blackout round by the people who developed it. So what we're going to do today is we're going to run a variety of rounds, suppressed and unsuppressed, through the 300 Blackout. We're going to do supersonic unsuppressed, which will be the loudest round. Then we're going to do supersonic rounds suppressed, which will be quieter. And then we're going to run subsonic rounds suppressed and just show you how quiet this becomes. Silencer doesn't mean that it becomes absolutely quiet and silent. It just means that it suppresses the sound significantly. And one of the things that's really nice about the 300 Blackout round is suppressed, you can run it without any ear protection whatsoever. Due to limitations of the camera equipment and specifically the audio equipment, you're not going to hear as well as we would like you to the differences between the supersonic, subsonic, and suppressed rounds. It's just the limitations of the audio. But we will be able to give you a relative comparison based on the rounds that we're using. So we're going to start out with 5 supersonic rounds unsuppressed. So you're going to hear the muzzle report, and you're also going to hear the sonic boom crack as the supersonic round breaks the sound barrier. It's what you're used to hearing the most when you're out shooting. What's nice is this just takes 2 turns. It is a specific break that's designed for a quick disconnect and a quick connect. So it's 2 turns. It's got a ratchet system on it. This is the 51 tooth ratchet system. Their newest is a 90 tooth. They've got an older one that's 18. Hold it down. 2 quick turns. And now it won't back off because the ratchet is locked in. Now you're going to hear 5 supersonic rounds, but suppressed, so you shouldn't hear the muzzle report, but you'll still hear it break the sound barrier. And I do have ear protection in. All right, now we're going to shoot 5 subsonic rounds suppressed. This is impressive. With 300 Blackout, very impressive. So one of the things that I noticed as we were doing that is you may not be hearing the steel ringing, and that's because it is shifting the point of aim. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know where that is right now, but obviously the difference between a suppressed round and unsuppressed round, supersonic, subsonic, it does impact the point of aim on a 300 Blackout round. And I'll be honest with you, it's too cold out here to mess with that. So what we're really looking to do anyway is just show you the difference between the sounds of the different rounds. So now what we've done is we've got a magazine that has alternate rounds, supersonic, subsonic. So you're going to hear supersonic suppressed, subsonic suppressed, and again you should be able to hear the difference. It should be fairly significant. Interesting. So on that very last shot, we came to find out that we suffered a baffle strike on the can itself. So we just packed everything in. We did some field troubleshooting and took it back. But I mean, it hit the can, and that's all there was to it. So we want to make sure that we're still good. You know, I cleaned out the bore, cleaned the barrel. Everything seems to be fine there. Don't know if we've got a shim issue on the AAC upper, which again was a factory upper that came from them that caused the baffle strike, or if something bizarre happened with ammunition, not sure. But what we want to do is we're back out here, it's about a week later, and I'm just going to run 3 different types of ammunition through the upper. We've got just good old-fashioned supersonic here, I forget what brand it is. Got Remington Premier Match, and we've got Silencer Co. 300 Blackout Subsonic. Because we were having problems getting it to chamber. We had a failure to, the round didn't go off, just had a click. Tried to clear the weapon, it wouldn't clear. I ended up having to mortar it to get it out. And then it failed to refeed after that. So we're gonna see if it feeds and functions now, just to make sure that we don't have a rifle issue, and see if we can't narrow this down a little bit. Again, we've got a screwed up can, that's all there is to it. So that's going back to AAC. We want to make sure the rifle's still working. So here we go. Well, no issues. Seems to be feeding fine. So hopefully the issue that we have is just with the can. Don't know if this is concentric or not. That might be part of the problem. Typically when you get a baffle strike with a QD system, it's because this isn't shimmed correctly. But again, it can also be, from what I understand, it can also be just a bad ammo, a bad round that went through there. So we'll let you know when the can gets back what the verdict is, and we'll run it some more.